Selectmen meeting Wednesday, March 1st is now called to order. If you could all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First item of business is the approval of minutes for the February 15th, 2023 Board of Selectmen meeting. I will have to abstain as I was not present for that meeting.
I'll make a motion, the board waive reading of the minutes and approve them as provided for February 15th, 2023.
I have a motion by Member Blanchard. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Second by Member Rosenberg. Do I have any comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And one abstention. Okay. All right, that brings us to public comment. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak to the board? Please come forward, state your name.
Good evening, Haley Mesmore, Town Clerk. I'm just here to just remind everybody of our upcoming annual town election, which will be held on May 1st, 2023. Deadline for all candidates to submit nomination papers is fast approaching. It's Monday, March 13th at 5 p.m. So if anybody is interested in running for any of the open seats, please feel free to reach out, give a call, come into Town Hall, and we'll be more than happy to get you ready for your nomination papers and get them all back for March 13th. So again, annual town election will be May 1st, 2023. It'll be at the Adams Memorial Building at 30 Columbia Street, and hours for polling will be from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Thank you.
Haley, question. Last day to register to vote for the town election?
Last day to register to vote for the town election will be April 21st, which is our Friday. Town Hall, my office will be specifically open until 5 p.m. that day.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Okay. And town administrator, is there any old business?
None.
All right. That brings us to new business. So item A and B are similar. It is a one-day wine and malt license application to be used at the Adams Theater on May 26th. That's the first event. The second one is for May 27th. And the applicant is Jones and Dews WX Restaurant Group, doing business as the Firehouse Cafe and Bistro. And you have in front of you the applications for both of those days. And Ms. Hampman, is there anything you wanted to add?
Just with the copy of insurance that is attached, you will all notice that the expiration date is prior to these events. So the vendor will be providing new certificate of insurance upon receiving their new policy.
Go ahead.
Will it also include the town?
It was my understanding that for a liquor liability insurance, it's protecting the vendor, but like when it comes to like a facility use request, that it protects the town. Is that correct?
This is not on town property. This would be on private property.
So it's just their own liability, not ours.
Okay.
So it might be good for the theater
So
to ask, to be
it's not
asked.
going to extend to the courtyard.
If it extends to the courtyard, we can assume that risk. And in fact, the theater owns underlying fee into the courtyard quite some ways. So we'll be okay.
And if they do use the courtyard, they would probably come back for facility use at that time. But at this point, it's just a one-day license for the theater. And their footprint is what we know of this request.
Correct.
And not use of the courtyard,
Correct.
not the town property.
Yeah, I just have a question. Type of event, music and show, has there been any specifics on this? Handed out what the show is going to encompass and what type of music will be there?
Ina has distributed a a schedule that she's been putting together. I don't know if it was attached to this, I just know that she's been,
You approved the
Distributing it.
entertainment licenses already for that, I think.
we did.
But she didn't have the specifics as to the nature of it.
Nope.
She gave us the dates, but I
Yeah.
don't think she was formulating the program.
Right.
I believe on those 2 dates, it is the faculty of a local music academy
Okay.
on one day, and then Misty Blues is the band that is slated for the second day. She's still working on nailing those down exactly, but that is who is intended to be. But Ina has also completed a weekly entertainment license for the theater space, so that's why we're not discussing an entertainment license, just the liquor license for this restaurant to vend their alcohol at that event.
What is the board's pleasure? And we should take them separately, because they are listed separately.
I'll make a motion, the board approve the one-day wine and malt liquor license application for Jones and Dews WX Restaurant Group LLC, doing business as Firehouse Cafe and Bistro for May 26th at the Adams Theater, 27 Park Street.
Okay. I have a motion by member Blanchard. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by member Rosenberg. Any discussion?
I just,
Sure.
for clarification, I don't know if Rick gave the times of the event.
Oh, I didn't, from 5 to 10 p.m.
So member Blanchard has amended the motion to include the time. Will you second?
I second that.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That is unanimous.
Okay, I make a motion, the board approve the one-day wine and malt liquor license application for Jones and Dews WX Restaurant Group LLC, DBA Firehouse Cafe and Bistro for May 27th from 5 to 10 p.m. at the Adams Theater, 27 Park Street.
Okay, I have a motion by member Blanchard. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by member Rosenberg. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That is unanimous. Okay. All right. We'll move on to item C. And I know that the town clerk is here. And we are looking to ratify the appointment of Elaine Melillo to the position of administrative assistant to the town clerk. I will turn this over to the town administrator.
you can
Or do you
read-
want me to just read the letter?
Just read Haley's letter.
Okay.
Sums it up very nicely.
Great. And then we'll
Elaine,
invite
come on
the
up.
town clerk and Ms. Melillo up. Okay. Dear Jay, as you know, the Administrative Assistant 2 position in my office has been vacant since August of 2022. I'm very happy to say that 4 qualified potential candidates have been interviewed by myself, you, the town administrator, and Kara Farrell. Based on the interviews and additional research, I would like to recommend Elaine Melillo for the position. Elaine interviewed very well and will bring her skills of multitasking and customer service. She is excited to learn the logistics behind municipality work and is looking forward to joining the team at Town Hall. She is a lifelong resident of Adams and would consider it an honor to work for the same town that she lives in. I feel she will be an asset to the town and specifically to my department. Per approval, Elaine is able to start her new career path on or about March 6th, 2023 at a grade 6, step 3, at $20.22 an hour. If any additional information is needed, please do not hesitate to contact me. Respectfully submitted, Haley Meswar, Town Clerk. So I don't know if you would like to give any further introduction to Miss Melillo.
No, I think that pretty much says it all. This is Elaine Melillo, for all of you that don't know her.
Excellent.
Hello.
Hi, Elaine. All right. So we do have a matter of business in front of us to ratify this appointment.
I'll make a motion, the board ratify the appointment of Elaine Melillo to the position of administrative assistant to the town clerk at the grade 6, step 3 rate of $20.22 an hour.
Okay, I have a motion by member Blanchard. Do I have a second?
Second.
second by Member Rosenberg. Any discussion?
Yes, I would just like to say I've known Elaine for quite a long time, and she's certainly a well-liked person, very gregarious. Know she'll be an asset with politeness and everything that goes along working for a municipality, so I'm happy that she put her name in a ring and she got the job because she's a good person.
Oh, great. Well, that's a great endorsement. Can I
Don't let it go to your head again.
No, let it go to your head. Enjoy that.
Let it go to your heart.
Yeah. Anything else from anyone? We'll just welcome. Look forward to working with you. I should warn you, I stop by the town clerk's office quite a bit. So that's what you say now. All right, if there's no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. That is unanimous. Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See you next week.
Yes. It'll be a sprint to the town election, so. Happy that the town clerk has some help going into that. Excellent. All right, that brings us to item D, ratification of the appointment of Tom Whalen as alternate member of the Adams Zoning Board of Appeals. We do have a letter here from the Community Development Director. I know that Professor Whalen was not able to join us, but I will go ahead and read this. Dear Administrator Green, this letter serves as my recommendation that the Board of Selectmen appoint Dr. Thomas Whalen to the Zoning Board of Appeals as an alternate member. Dr. Whalen is an Adams resident, pro-Adams member, and professor of business at MCLA in North Adams. The ZBA, like all of our boards, committees, and commissions, needs thoughtful individuals who can make sound decisions in the public interest. Dr. Whalen's CV is attached here, which I don't think we have. And I believe the breadth of his experience, both professionally and as a volunteer, speaks for itself. Dr. Whalen is well prepared to serve as a local leader on the ZBA, and respectfully submitted by Eamon Coughlin. And did you want to provide any?
Just context for the board. We have a 5-member ZBA with 2 alternates. We're at full 5 members. Dr. Whalen will be one of the 2 alternates. We still have 1 alternate position vacant.
I just had a question.
Sure.
Wayne Piaggi, he left the board. His position has been filled.
Dave Reinmiller was an alternate, and the board approved him as a full member
Okay.
several weeks ago.
Okay, so that's why there's 2 alternates now.
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion, the board appoint Dr. Tom Whalen as alternate member of the Adams Zoning Board of Appeals.
I have a motion by Member Blanchard. Do I have a second?
I have a second here.
Second by Member Rosenberg. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. And that is unanimous. All right. Brings us to item E, ratification of the appointment of John Pitroff as Adams alternate representative to the Northern Berkshire Solid Waste Management District. And I know John is here. If you wouldn't mind coming to the podium, and I'll just read the letter that's in our packet. Sure. Okay. So this letter is to advise the Board of Selectmen that Mr. John Pitroff has volunteered to serve as the alternate Adams representative to the Northern Berkshire Solid Waste Management District. Mr. Pitroff is the owner and founder of Second Chance Composting, which is the only local community-based compost operation, that is a mouthful, in Northern Berkshire County.
Rewrote it.
Second Chance Composting aims to build community and sustainability by breaking down the barrier to composting by offering commercial food scrap collection, as well as pickup, hauling, and drop-off locations for compostable organic matter. The town of Adams is excited to have John serve as the alternate Adams representative to the Northern Berkshire Solid Waste Management District, and we recommend that Mr. Pitroff be appointed to this position by the Board of Selectmen. And I believe the town administrator shared information with us that this has been vacant since Member
Bush passed away.
Passed away.
Jim was very involved with Northern Berkshire Solid Waste Management District. We have another person serving as primary, but it's always good to get the second person in. So we'll get John up to speed, and we'll see where the future goes. I'll also brief the board and let the public know, too, that the town of Adams has had a Solid Waste Advisory Committee in the past. It hasn't been active in my 3 years or 4 years now here as town administrator. Dr. Rhodes has been speaking with me about it, Linda Cernick has been speaking with me about it, and with some costs associated with the transfer station and always trying to manage the cost of that, it may be a good time to reactivate that group. The town clerk and I spoke, the town Board of Selectmen does have the appointing authority with that. We have some members who had been on there before, and I want to say when you folks reach June and we do the annual appointments, I think we're going to freshen that board up, and John has also been willing to serve on that as well. There is some crossplay between our own ad hoc Solid Waste Advisory Committee, which advises us on how we run the transfer station and what our policies are, versus also what Northern Berkshire Solid Waste Management District brings to the table. So 2 separate entities. What you're voting on tonight for John is for him to actually sit on the district and represent Adams as part of the 8, I think it's 8, no, it might be 13.
13.
13,
Yep.
right. 13-member district, but also John wants to get a little bit more involved too and help us out here in the Adams side. And Linda's been on both as well, so there's no conflict there, it all flows. But we thank John for his willingness to serve in this capacity. I know as town administrator, I need people that understand that business to advise us so I can advise you appropriately, so we're grateful that John's willing to do that.
Great. John, is there anything you wanted to share?
I'm just thankful to be here and appreciate the opportunity. I'll do my best.
That's all we can ask. All right.
I just had a question, John. I'm quite interested in this type of thing. Where do you bring your composting once it's been composted?
So currently we are processed in Stamford. I have property in Stamford, Vermont. It's where we process it, and then eventually we'll sell it back locally. We're not at that point yet, but next year is our goal to be able to sell the compost back to homeowners or farmers or whoever wants it.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I have a question.
Sure.
Or comment. Anyway, we really appreciate you stepping up to this because the solid waste stream, is getting fewer and fewer places to dump the primary solid waste. And with your expertise and your entrepreneurship, we would be very much interested in hearing your ideas, to Jay's point about advising, of how we should rethink the solid waste stream, and maybe even in some areas generate revenue for the town, or have local private people like yourself bleed off some of that waste stream and actually turn it into something useful. So I welcome those recommendations.
Yeah, I think the way my mind works, I think there's going to be different ideas I can come up with that might find solutions that we might not think of in other ways, or, I think very practically, but I have a very artistic mind as well, so it's like what composting is, practical but artistic, so I think it'll be a good fit. It's just going to take me a little time to warm up to everything and get in and know it, but once I'm in, I think it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it.
That learning curve, John, is generally about a year.
Okay.
In municipal, and plus only maybe meeting once a month,
Yep.
if that, it's gonna take you a while to see a full, what I always call a full municipal cycle, and that's true even with what you're gonna be doing. The transfer station conversation for us comes almost simultaneously with the budget conversation, because fiscal year starts July, so we tend to have the conversation about the permit fees and financially, how did we do? We're trying to make it self-sustaining, so we tend to have all these conversations all bunched up at the same time. Then it gets quiet, then you're gonna do your hazmat collections, you're gonna do all that, so it'll take you a while to get up to speed, but when you do, you'll see it's straightforward.
And I've been lucky, Linda, I didn't meet her that long ago. She called me last year, and we've been pretty close so far, and she's easy to talk with, and so she's been very helpful, and she's always told me can reach out, so.
Yeah, when she sees someone with some potential in that area and some interest, because not a lot of people have interest in it, she's got you.
I'm glad to be doing it, so.
Good.
Very good.
That's great. All right. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that the board appoint Mr. John Pitroff as the Adams alternate representative to the Northern Berkshire Solid Waste Management District.
I have a motion by Member Blanchard. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Rosenberg. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you,
Thank
John.
you, appreciate it.
Haley, does he get sworn in for that position? I don't think so.
Yeah. So you might have to visit the town clerk's office too. Okay. All right, that closes out new business and brings us to subcommittee and liaison reports. Howard?
I have nothing.
Okay, I don't have anything under that. Rick?
Nothing.
Joe?
This is, what is it now?
Subcommittee and
Liaison.
liaison.
Yep, I attended the Agricultural Commission meeting.
Yep.
And Al Averill with Farmland Trust was there, along with Sarah Gardner, who's a member of the Agricultural Commission in Williamstown, and also is a Williams College professor in environmental science, and listened to pretty much the same PowerPoint presentation that we were given. The members were eager to get into the program, and they voted unanimously to get into the Farmland Trust Program. There's 20 communities in Berkshire County that have become members, and there'll be a few communities that won't be approached because of their rocky soils, some of the rural communities that don't have much farmland. So they were happy about it, and there's going to be, in May, there's going to be a gathering at the Bounty Fair for local farmers to hear more about not just the land trust, but other ways that they can utilize grants for their occupation in their lands.
Can I ask a couple questions?
Yeah?
The gathering, who's hosting that? Is it the Agricultural Commission or is it a private
They're gonna be-
entity?
No, they're going to be one of the hosts, along with, it's going to be a 3-community, it's going to be
Okay.
Adams, it's going to be Williamstown, it's going to be New Ashford, and those will be the 3 communities in the Williamstown Agricultural Commission, and the Adams Agricultural Commission will be host, along with Farmland Trust, and there's one other. I can send the information out, and there's some posters that go along with it, but they're colored, and I couldn't get them off
Okay.
on my printer, because I don't use my color too much, and it's all dried up.
Sure. If you can send it to
Yeah.
Bree, she can distribute it to the rest of us. That would be
Sure.
great. And then will the Agricultural Commission be coming forward with a recommendation to the board for approval?
They're waiting for the letter to be sent.
Okay.
There has to be a letter, and it will be signed already by the Farmland Trust, and the chairman of the board of selectmen needs to sign it.
Yeah. Because I know we had questions about which properties in which, I wasn't able to attend. I did reach out to the chair to let Ms. McCourt know that I wasn't able to attend the meeting, but it is something I've been looking into since you brought it before our board. So were they able to dig into like which properties in the town of Adams would benefit from?
Yeah, there's only about 500 acres because the soil has been already tested and given a designation, but there's another category in there that is not prime farmland. It's just land that can be, because there are now, like for instance, Yeskies, it isn't like the farmland soil type, wouldn't fall in those categories, but now it's used agriculturally. So out of the acreage in Adams, there was only 500 more acres that would be added on.
Okay.
And so it isn't much, and most communities that go with this find also that within the framework of their land, that most of it that has already been put under prime farmland or important town farmland has already been staked out. So I can get you more information and more clarity on that if you'd like.
Well, I think if they come forward with the recommendation, they could probably
Yeah.
present it.
And
at
I'd like
that
to
time.
say, I wish
That's good.
that we could have got into it and be the 3rd community and not the 21st community, because I think prime agricultural land and agricultural land is such an important feature going forward with the situation, we're finding ourselves in with, the ability to grow our own crops should the need come up. And so, once again, of course, all the people being on the farm, associated with farms understand the need for that. So there was some discussion, but everybody was, for it.
Good.
And once again, as I'd mentioned before, I think it was misconstrued that this property, although it's designated, if you own property privately, it only gives you an option if you want to, you're so close to your property that you want to put it in preservation. And this also, with the other designation, gives the people that own that property that option besides just selling it. And you get financial, there's a formula that you could get financial help, for that property. So that gives people the option that, love their farm or their property and they want to keep it that way, the ability to do it. But as I stated just a second ago, there's nothing to do with development problems. I think that's what came up out of our conversation when Al Averill was here. I think we got stuck on that because, Chairman Duval, the first thing is that going to affect, developable land? And I thought I pinned it pretty good by saying that, you own your own property. You don't have to put it in, preservation if you don't want it. You can sell it for lots or anything if it's buildable and that type of thing. So that's the only thing I had with the liaison reports.
Okay, great, thank you. Announcements and good of the order. Howard?
Yes, mark your calendars for March 23rd at 5:30 at St. Mark's Church. The Shared Estates developers are going to be presenting their concept for, which promises to be a tremendous economic development opportunity for the town as outdoor for the campsite at the Glen, as outdoor recreation is going to play a large part in the future of Adams. And they're looking at community input, and they're going to share their ideas of how this is environmentally sustainable and a very solid economic development to bring business to local, to enhance local businesses who will be service providers to the venture. And they have clearly stated that their success is dependent on the support of the town, and they want to be flexible and respond to the concerns of the town. So please show up and show your concern and support.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rick?
Nothing.
Joe?
This is the first I've heard about that, Howard. The 23rd it is?
It was announced, they announced it on their Facebook page.
Today.
The Eco Village, yes, it was announced.
See, I don't have a Facebook page. So who set up that meeting?
Shared Estates,
Shared Estate set it up?
yeah.
Okay. And that's going to get out to the public more than just Facebook. Will there be something on our...
That's why I'm having
Yeah,
this.
well, will there be something on our website
Yes.
about it?
Yes.
We already asked Haley to put it up today. We don't
They-
have a lot of the details
Yeah,
about it. We
right.
knew they were planning it. We knew they wanted to do it at St. Mark's. The date changed a couple times.
Yeah.
So now they announced it today, so we asked Haley to get it up on our website. And we have to be careful because it's not our meeting, but we'll see if they're gonna do a press release of some type. I would imagine they would, but we'll firm some of that stuff up with them as we
I'd
go.
like to see a press release because this is time now for people to put their input in.
Exactly.
And I think the project is only as good as the input you get. And also, I have just one thing. Today, reading the Eagle paper, there was something in there about Ina, what's going on with her in Utopia Inn. And also made mention of Leah King from the Wigwam is going to be opening in a retail space here in Adams. I haven't heard anything about it, so it's out in the public. What's that all about?
So she bought 57 Park Street, the former Steepleview Realty building.
Yeah?
Probably 18 months ago, she purchased that, and she's been renovating it. I think most of us have seen the outside transformation of the building, the painting that's been going on. So Steepleview Realty is going to continue to operate. If you're looking at the building on the left-hand side, and she's opening up a gift shop. She's been working on it since last summer, but didn't have staffing. But she does plan to open it up, and it will be called, I think, 57 Park is the name of her store.
Okay, yeah.
But, and once she has received information about putting together a ribbon cutting and an announcement about the opening, but she's still a few weeks away from that.
Yeah, well, I think as a selectman, I should have been made aware of that. I didn't know anything about it until I read it in the newspaper.
But you're not gonna know anything, because the
It's
town
private.
administrator and the board of selectmen have nothing to do with it.
Right.
It's zoned appropriately for what she wants to do. So at best, I think she comes in and logs her business with the town clerk's office.
Well,
She
I
doesn't need
just
any
thought it would
permits.
be courtesy to at least, tell me. I don't know, you knew about it, right? I didn't know
That's
about
because
it.
I know her, and she's
Oh,
been
okay.
telling me
All right,
about
okay.
it.
I haven't,
Yeah.
I don't know her. I haven't
Yeah.
talked to her.
And the second thing I have is, I just once again like to thank, well, not thank, but congratulations to the girls' basketball team. Once again, they retained the Western Mass champions, and their dominance continues, and I wish them well in the state tournament. And the boys made it to the state tournament, and they're going to be playing tomorrow against Granby, and the girls will be playing Friday. They're both home games. They're going to be playing against the charter school called the Academy of the Pacific Rim Charter School. They're out of downtown Boston, because it goes by population of school. That kind of caught me by surprise, the name of the school. Yep. So that's all I have.
Great, thank you. I have just a couple of announcements. So speaking of ribbon cuttings, I believe that Library Director Holly Jaco has provided an invitation to each of you to attend and be part of the ribbon cutting at the library for the grand staircase that has been redone. That ribbon cutting is scheduled for Saturday, March 18th at 10:30 in the morning, and that is open to the public, and refreshments will be served. So we encourage people to attend. And please let Bree know if you're able to attend that event. On Friday, March 24th, the MMA is bringing their spring legislative breakfast to Adams after several years of advocating that they host it in North Berkshire and in Adams. It is happening. So that's Friday, March 24th at 8:30 in the morning, and it will be held at the library. You do have to register for that. The invitation came out from the MMA this week, so please check your inboxes for that. And if you don't have it, you can let Bree know, and she can help you get registered. And on Saturday, April 1st, there is a Western Massachusetts Rural Conference. That one will be held in Holyoke. Sorry, I couldn't get that closer. I tried, but maybe next year. And that one is being sponsored by the Berkshire County Selectmen's Association, the Berkshire Regional Planning Commission, and the Franklin County Council of Governments, Franklin County Regional Development, and the small town managers. And I may have missed another group, but they are putting together that agenda, and it'll be a morning program.
Holyoke is a great city, just saying.
It's not so bad. Berkshire County's better, but that's okay. All right, so I have those three things, and then before I go into executive session, or ask for a motion to go into executive session, I did want to just state that our next meeting is next Thursday, March 9th. It's at 6 p.m., and it is an overview of the fiscal '24 budget, and I believe that all of the budget meeting dates were presented at the last meeting, and they've also been emailed to all of us, so you should have those on your calendars, but that is the next meeting of this board. And that'll be in the sunroom. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Can you repeat the date on that?
Next Thursday, March 9th, at
March
6
9th,
p.m.
We'll be sending more information out as we hone in a little bit more on the schedule, in terms of what we're dealing with what night.
Yeah,
Right.
through the chair, one of your emails said we might be able to condense it this year a little bit more than we have in the past, instead of stringing it along, because it's quite long each night to go and,
Yeah.
continue to sit in.
We're going, next week will be this board alone, go over the overview,
Yeah.
the graphs, all the charts, so you get the big picture. The week after that, we'll do the same thing, but only with the finance committee. Then the next week, we'll do 2 nights, Monday, Tuesday. We're going to start with general government, executive, finance and technology. Tuesday is going to be a little bit longer because Mr. Superintendent Dean will present, but he's going to present the Cheshire first. We're going to try to do them on the same nights so that both bodies get the same information the same night. That'll be a little later. I don't think he can get here probably till 8 o'clock that night, but we'll see how it goes this year. And then we'll pause for the balance of that week, and then next week we'll have Tuesday and Thursday. That'll be it for the workshops, and then after that, the board will make its vote on the budget. Will give us some time to make any adjustments that need be at the wishes of the board, and then the finance committee will approve it, and then it'll be ready to go for sometime in April, and we're shooting for an early June town meeting.
So will McCann's come in prior to?
Jim will present at this point tentatively before Mr. Dean does.
Good.
And we'll have, I think, a section of our own budget to go over too.
All right. I think that's it for announcements in good of the order. That brings us to the executive session.
One point of order,
Sorry?
Madam Vice Chair.
Yep.
Initially, we thought we'd be able to approve the contract this evening. I was informed that the union has not taken a vote yet on it, just for logistics purposes. So I understood it was always the wish of the board not to vote on a labor contract until after the union members voted on it. So there's no reason why we can't continue to go through it tonight and be prepared, but there's no reason to approve it tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, make a motion, the board enter executive session for purpose number 3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigation position of the public body.
Second.
Yep. And just to state, it's for the clerical union agreement for fiscal 24 to 26 and the public union negotiations for fiscal 24 to 26, as stated on the agenda. And this is a roll call vote. Member Novak?
Yes.
Member Blanchard?
Yes.
Member Hoyt says yes. Member Rosenberg?
Yes.
All right. So we are in executive session, but I'm going to take a 5-minute break.
And you're only going to come out to adjourn.
And we will only come out to adjourn. That is correct. All right, so a 5-minute break. Recess, sorry.